What a season it has been so far in the 2025 JBL Cup Series season. And we are continuing on with the All-Star Night here at New Smyrna Speedway. Early on, we had a fantastic All-Star Open with Aaron Abel, Travis Crampton, and Zachary Fitzwater, the fan vote winner, getting into a 24-car field set for 150 laps, 2 segments, and some other stuff in between. But at the end of the night, someone will win the Season 6 All-Star race and get a automatic reserve into this year's Hollywood Stapleton Shootout in October. It is the Season 6 All-Star race at New Smyrna Speedway. What's up, everyone? It's the boy on Race 97, aka Nathan Stapleton, and welcome to New Smyrna Speedway. We just had the open a little bit ago, about a half hour ago, and now it is time for the 24 of the best drivers in the JBL Cup Series to do battle to write their names into the history books of a former and current All-Star race winner. It's going to be a lot of fun. Nothing on the line, no points on the line, just a reserve into the special event in the fall. And we got Bronson Makeup here in the booth for this one. Welcome to New Smyrna Speedway.
Thank you for having me, Nathan. Hello, everybody. Welcome to New Smyrna here in Florida. And like you said, Nathan, no bragging rights, but it is a chance to etch your name into the history books and for you to be claimed as one of 5 currently that are All-Star race winners.
It's going to be a very fun race. New Smyrna, we were here last year. A little bit of a wreckfest. We turned the strength down one notch and we ended up having a caution-free but barn-burner open earlier tonight. And with this being the All-Star race, and basically a breathing point for these drivers before the final 5 races of the final 6 races before the chase. How do you think that's going to shake out, especially for drivers like who's dominated the last month or so here in the Cup Series? And how do you think that's going to transpire here tonight?
I think that's a good question. I think that's going to definitely play a factor here today. I think Andrew Miller, you see him right there in the screen, starting outside pole position, so that means that he's definitely got speed, he's definitely got the car. But can he carry that through the whole race? That's going to be the question. And can the competitors keep up with Andrew Miller? That's also something that we got to take a look at as the race progresses. But I think this is an opportunity for the teams to catch up to Andrew Miller and that Wood Brothers team. Whatever Ryan Durrani's done on his side, it's worked for Andrew Miller and that 21 team so far through the season. So will the teams be able to get the advantage from the All-Star race to the end of the regular season? That's something that we're going to look forward to here tonight.
Absolutely, and let's see who can stop that 21 team, if anyone, and we'll see who can carry the momentum from tonight into the longest race of the season and one of my favorite races all year, the Coca-Cola 600 next weekend. And a quick rundown on how the simple format is going to look here tonight is very similar to last year, but we changed a few things around. 150 laps, 2 75-lap halves, and half number 1 is straightforward. The top 10 will get inverted, so the winner will start 10th, 10th will start 1st, and so on. 11th on bat, if you finish 11th, you'll start 11th in the second half, and so forth. If you are 1 lap down or more, or get involved in a crash or have a mechanical failure, you're done for the night at the first half break. And then the second half is just a 75-lap sprint to the finish, and whoever wins will get a reserve into the Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout in October, and will be forever known as the Season 6 All-Star Race winner. Let's go ahead and meet our 24 drivers for the Season 6 JBL Cup Series All-Star Race. Starting 24th in the All-Star Race, he finished 5th in the Open earlier tonight, and he was the fan vote winner. And the number 71 for Spire Motorsports is Zachary Fitzwater. Starting 23rd in the All-Star race, he got 2nd in the Open earlier tonight. In the number 45, 2311 Racing Toyota is Travis Crampton. Starting 22nd, he won the All-Star Open earlier tonight. And the number 11 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota is Alan Abel. Starting 21st in the number 41 for Stuart Haas Racing is Alexander Lowe. Starting 20th in the number 2 Team Penske Ford is Justin Zidell. Starting 19th in the number 99 for Trackhouse Racing, Noah Clifton. Starting 18th in the number 77 for Spy Motorsports is one of 3 rookies in the All-Star race here tonight, Mr. Edge, Nicholas Samadillo. Starting 17th in the number 22 Team Penske Ford is Bradley Ream. Starting 16th in the number 48 for Peanut Motorsports is Juan Garcia. Starting 15th in the number 23 for 2311 Racing is Jordan Stout. Starting 14th in the number 34 for Front Row Motorsports is John Andrews. Starting 13th in the number 24 for Peanut Motorsports is Trey Bartow. Starting 12th in the number 42 for Legacy Motor Club is Eli Bright. Starting 11th in the number 43 for Legacy Motor Club is Joe Rutkowski. Inside the top 10 now, starting 10th in the number 19 for Joe Gibbs Racing is Ronald Kennington. Starting in 9th in the number 12 for Team Penske is Alex Sanvitale. Starting in 8th, the second rookie in the All-Star race, driving the number 47 for JTG Doherty Racing is Stuart Bratton. Starting 7th in the number 9 for Hendrick Motorsports is Jordan Edwards. Starting 6th in the third and final rookie to make it into the All-Star race in Season 6, and the number 3 for Richard Childress Racing is Local Dawn. Starting in 5th in the number 54 for Joe Gibbs Racing is Nick Lopez. Starting in 4th place here tonight in the number 20 for Joe Gibbs Racing is Matthew Burnett. Starting in 3rd, driving the number 38 for Front Row Motorsports is Logan Williams. Now on the front row, he has been the dominant driver this season with 4 wins in 12 points paying races, and he's trying to get his 5th win overall here tonight in the number 21 for Woods Brothers Racing, the Season 1 All-Star Race winner of Andrew Miller. And on the pole for the Season 6 All-Star Race, driving the number 5 for Hendrick Motorsports, Matthew Hubert. And with that being said, we have met our drivers here tonight for the Season 6 JBL Cup Series All-Star Race. And I'm going to leave it up to you. As of this first segment, who do you think will win the All-Star Race?
Obviously, as the team owner of 3 Penske very fast Ford Mustangs that are in this field, I want one of them to win. And you know what? Usually on a regular race, I would say, no, I'm not going to pick my favorite drivers, which of course are my own drivers. But you know what? I think I am. I think I'm going to go with Alex Sanvitale. I don't want to pick favorites, but he is definitely the fastest out of the camp. And I feel like he's definitely got the driver mentality and the driver's skill to win the All-Star race. Be crowned one of very few to be an All-Star. And it all comes down here in New Smyrna. Nathan, take it away.
It's that time of the year. It's in the month of May, and it's All-Star Night at New Smyrna Speedway. Matthew Hubert and the middle leaders to the wing. Segment number 1 is underway at New Smyrna Speedway. The even start for the front row, and the Miller is trying to get that outside lane to work. Most of the time it does not, but he's really trying to, and I'm not surprised. It's been one of the best cars this season when our local Williams all over the back bumper of Matthew Hubert, and we saw this in the open. Very competitive racing, and we could see that here tonight, and we should, and hopefully we see a lot more racing than what we saw last year with the Crash Fest that we saw. Look at this, Nick Lopez and Matthew Hubert. Matthew Burnett with contact right there. And Logan Williams has been very hot as of late. Inside the top 5 in points, and he's going to challenge for the race lead on that number 4.
Third challenging the first. Here comes Logan Williams. He's going to clear himself, and he's going to clear himself off the nose. Hubert up into the wall. He's going to collect him only himself for now, but he's going to stack up his teammate, number 9, Jordan Edwards, stack up that whole outside line, and that's going to virtually, for now, remove Hubert from contention. As you see something, Nathan, what was that you saw?
There was skimos and smoke entering turn number 1. And took the race lead, and in the back was the 48 of Juan Garcia, and the open winner of Aaron April with damage. No caution. You guys will see what happened to those two. You know, a crossover battle here. We saw this in open, and we might see this again. Miller and Logan Williams battling for the top spot.
Battling very aggressively, Nathan. Talking about aggressive. That 38 move, trying to clear himself off of Hubert's front bumper. Insanely aggressive for, what was that, lap 4? Unbelievable. So early on. There's so much racing to go. 125 laps, folks, I believe. I don't know. This is why I'm not failed. This is why I'm not passing my math class, ladies and gentlemen. But another trying to clear off the front bumper by Sabatali there on Nick Lopez. Trey Bardo takes advantage of that. He's to the inside, and here comes the 20 of Matthew Burnett, trying to get the momentum to get to the inside of Williams. He's not going to get there, but the 38 is going to stay up in the middle lane. And then Burnett's going to stay behind the 38, Logan Williams, for another time around. Here comes Hubert to the back bumper of the 38 to the court panel, trying to take a look to the inside, and he's going to be there, as well as the 21. We might have a 3-car battle, maybe a 3-wide battle here. And going back to the lap car situation with the 48 and the 11 of Aaron Abel, that may play a factor, as now that is the 48 Juan Garcia, and not too far ahead is Aaron Abel, so we might see our first cars go a lap down, and that's going to be detrimental to their existence in the second segment, as now Burnett during that took the lead, but Williams is going to try and take it back. He's going to try and clear himself once again from P2's front bumper. And here comes the 21 once again, Nathan.
Crossover battles left, right, and center between Logan Williams, Matthew Burnett, and Andrew Miller. And Logan Williams has a good car, but he keeps on sliding up the racetrack. And now Miller to the inside. I will say, at the start of the year, Joe Gibbs Racing won the Clash at a fairly similar flat, short track of Langley of Nick Lopez. And Nick Lopez is inside the top 5 here, trying to sweep the two 9 points races. But how about this? This might be one of the battles that we see for the rest of the year. Logan Williams, he got hot around this time last year, and we are seeing him be way more consistent in the last 3 or 4 races, and that is carrying over here tonight. Crossover again with the top 2, and like Bronson said, that is fairly going to be detrimental to Juan Garcia and Aaron Abel, especially because if they get a lap down, they are done for the night entering the second half.
Yeah, for that beat, for Aaron Abel being, for him getting into the All-Star race the way that he did, and only him crashing a handful of laps into the race and potentially going a lap down, that would be so upsetting and so unfortunate. But hopefully they catch a break, both of those cars. Hopefully they catch a break here with 18 laps complete. Nick Lopez trying to get to the inside of Matthew Burnett. And now the 38 of Logan Williams starting to fell off from P number 1. He's going to slide back to P4. And watch out, here comes Trey Bardo in the 24 Hendrick Chevy Camaro, as well as Bradley Ream in the 22. Here he comes, Burnett trying everything he can to keep Williams behind him. And all of this, and Andrew Miller in the 21 just is driving away.
And we are under caution.
Caution is out, and what was it for?
Looks like it was the 23 of Jordan Stout is destroyed. And I mentioned that we might see pit stops for tires, and local Dawn Jolakowski, the 34, 47, 99, 2, 42, 45 for the back half of the field are pitting, and that could get fairly interesting. There's a little bit of tire fall off, not a lot, but that could get fairly interesting here in the rest of this first segment.
We were talking about the big break that the 48 and the 11 needed, and this is exactly what they needed, but Aaron Abel did not pit, but Juan Garcia pitted.
I believe so. Yes, he did. Garcia pitted, but Abel did not.
I'm not sure about that strategy, Nathan. What do you make of that? Because that just doesn't add up. You have damage. You can come in, repair some of it. Not all of it, but some of it. Get fresh tires on it. Have the advantage at least on that front. But Aaron Abel doesn't. I don't understand that.
Yeah, and the thing I don't understand is that the 11 has more back-end damage than what Juan Garcia did. So that's an interesting call there. But he was the last one to stay out. So the top 10 all stayed out. And then the 11th on bat pitted. And that's going to be interesting. They're going to have 20 fresher lap tires. And maybe they can steal a up front spot. But also, that is the flip side to it. Because if you win, you still at 10 for the second segment. So very interesting what this will end up happening. But let's see what happens. We have the first caution of the night in the JBL All-Star Race and segment number 1 at New Smyrna Speedway. Here we go, this will happen to be the first caution of the night. Noah Clifton in the 99 went up the racetrack. Sam Dio followed him. And you won't believe what ends up happening. Sam Dio gets into the 99, sends him down the racetrack into Jordan Stout. And then Jordan Stout is going to hit the opening. And into the infield he goes for the number 23 of Jordan Stout. You cannot make this up. The 77 ends up going sliding. But understandably so, that's going to cause some damage on the 77. And he's going to be slow for the rest of the night. That's going to take him out of the running in this All-Star race. That was wild. I've never seen that before in all the races I've done at New Smyrna. And that was not good, but that's how it happens sometimes. And I don't know if we will ever see that again. But tough break for Jordan Stout and Nicholas Samadillo.
Everything's clear sailing right here, Nathan. Everything's all good, and the Samadillo just gets up into the corner panel. Noah Clifton, and then I don't even know how you commentate that. What do you say to that? I mean, Samadillo drives away, but what about? Can we check on the 23? Can we check on Jordan Stout? Is he okay? Jordan Stout, if you're in chat, please let us know if you're okay.
Kansas.
That was horrific.
Oh my goodness, that was bad. Kansas, we had a bad wet.
Yeah.
Not quite as that bad, but that was bad, and understandably so. That's gonna take out Jordan Stout, and that 77 is gonna keep on going, but he's gonna be slow for the rest of this one. Top 10 stay out. 11 on bat. Did some pit strategy on fresh tires. We'll see how that shakes out. With about 50 laps to go here in segment number 1. Welcome back to New Smyrna Speedway after the first caution of the night. And hopefully that is the last one of the night. But we still have a long way to go. Still got 127 laps to go in total. And we got about 43 laps to go here in segment number 1. Andrew Miller, Nick Lopez, Matthew Burnett, Logan Williams, Trey Bell, the top 5. Bradley thought fan winner of Zachary Fitzwater, out San Vitale, Matthew Burnett, and unable to top 10 all stay out. 11th, a local Dawn is the first one on fresh tires. And unfortunately, we have one car out of this race, and that is the 23 of Jordan Stout. And how about Nick Lopez? He's trying to do the double at these non-point races, trying to win the Clash and the All-Star race.
He shot out of a cannon. He got as good of an advantage as Miller did. And now side by side for the lead this time around. Going into turn number 1. Is Lopez going to try and clear himself? No, he's going to think better. And he's going to clear himself going into turn number 3 down the backstretch. Still side by side. A good side by side battle. But Williams is going to take a look at this. Try and get as much speed as he can to get to the back bumper of these two. And now we have a new leader clearing off the front bumper of Miller. And it is now Nick Lopez who clears himself by 2.5 car lengths. Here comes Zachary Fitzwater to the inside of Matthew Burnett. Sending it to the inside, almost to the quarter panel of Bradley Reed. 3 wide behind. That is Sam Vitale to the inside of Trey Bardo and Matthew Burnett. The 12 trying to pitch himself in a hole that really doesn't exist. But as the great Ayrton Senna said, that Sam Vitale might be following. Here comes the 5. Still rubbing, still banging. This might not end well.
Boy, putting that into the outside wall.
Oh, and that's big damage, Nathan. I don't know.
Luckily, this is a short track, so as long as he can stay on the lead lap, he should be good. Miller back out front, Lopez, Logan Williams, and how about exactly freaking Fitzwater, the fan favorite winner, and he's starting to get some momentum in the second half of this regular season. Don't know if he can make it into the chase, but we've seen crazier things happen before, and he might get an all-star race win. And it is once again Logan Williams and Andrew Miller, the top 2. And it's going to be interesting on how this ends all shakes out. Look at Ian Abel. He's still making moves inside the top 10 with that damage. Here comes Joe Witkowski, and we got to take a note on, oh my goodness, on these guys are flush with tires. I think Witkowski and the 34 John Andrews are the leading guys on flush tires. So that would be interesting to see all night long. But how about Fitzwater and Nick Lopez and Bradley challenging now Logan Williams and Andrew Miller?
Now, how about Zachary Fitzwater? Good old Fisty himself, man. What a great showing from the fan vote winner. Shouldn't even be in this field, but yet here he is challenging Nick Lopez for P number 2 here in segment 1, coming around this time by and to the inside. Zachary Fitzwater to the inside of the 54, and he's going to try and make himself known, trying to make himself clear going into turn number 3 the way Andrew Miller did off the front bumper of Nick Lopez. And is Fitzwater going to do it? Not quite, but hopefully into turn number 1, Zachary Fitzwater is going to get there.
Oh no!
And that's the 77, Samadillo. He's right in front of our leader. Did something happen to him?
He must be off the pace with something. I don't know if he passed someone at the restart or if he was involved in the crash. You guys will see if anything happened, but Sam Badillo is going to go lap down, and that's going to end his night most likely, as he is off the pace for the 77, as he got passed by his teammate of Zachary Fitzwater. And I'm not too surprised about this, but Zachary Fitzwater, I know he won the fan vote, but he almost made it into open, finishing inside the top 5 and 5th, and he had a shot to get inside the fan vote into the All-Star race by getting 2nd. So that 71 is fast. Nick Lopez in 2nd, Logan Williams in 3rd. But, well, that's not good for the field. Andrew Miller is pulling away. However, if he wins this segment, he will start 10th in segment number 2.
Yeah, that's, again, like we said pre-race, unbelievable speed from Ryan Durrani and Andrew Miller. The whole season, really. Just unbelievable speed. I have no idea where they're getting that. That 21 Wood Brothers Ford Mustang is an absolute rocket. But someone else that's kind of trying to be a rocket is this 38 right here, Logan Williams. Just got around Nick Lopez and is now setting his sights on that lead. Almost putting the elbows out, Nathan. You saw that there for a second. And now Zachary Fitzwater takes the advantage of Nick Lopez's unfortunateness. Oh, and the 21 goes way wide. And now Williams is back at him. A mistake, a miss on the 21. And we have a battle for the lead, Nathan. It was looking so well for Andrew Miller. And now the 38 reeled him back in from his misfortune. And here we go, a battle for the lead. Logan Williams clears Andrew Miller and takes the lead at New Smyrna.
That is good old-fashioned New Smyrna right there. You have to run the bottom, or maybe a lane, a half lane higher, and unfortunately Miller went a little bit too wide and costing them a spot. But this is what we should have had last year for the All-Star race instead of the wreckfest that it was. Fantastic stuff here. And that Lopez getting into Zachary Fitzwater right now. Right there, Miller might be able to get back to the inside, side by side once again for the race to lead. And here comes John Anderson in the 34, Stuart Graham, Ronald Cunnington, Local Dawn, and definitely some of these names that are outside the top 5 are definitely on flush tires. And that's going to be a massive factor if the stays green. Miller back to the point. And Nick Lopez inside the top 3. And how about John Anderson trying to take the top 5 spot away from Bradley Weem?
Great showing from Front Row Motorsports here. The 34 just getting to the inside and way ahead of Bradley Ream. He's going to slide way up track, almost get up into the wall. He's going to have to back out and lose a bunch of time on that back bumper in the 34. And then, of course, we have Logan Williams. And now coming back at the lead, Nathan, to the inside of Andrew Miller. Man, Logan Williams will not leave this 21 away. Will he, Nathan? It's unbelievable. He's so persistent, and he's going to clear him once again, Nathan, to the point. Goes the 38, and Zachary Fitzwater goes to P number 3 for now, but he's being hunted and challenged by the 34, the other front-row motorsport there. That is John Andrews and Nick Lopez to the outside, right behind Zachary Fitzwater. He's going to try and get that arc, that corner in, and here comes Andrew Miller once more to the back bumper, the 38 sticking
on
way
the
to the
apron.
inside. On the apron, Nathan. Unbelievable. I don't think that got gained much time, but looked pretty cool for the camera, didn't it, Nathan?
Oh yeah, I don't think that's how you really want to get a job done in 3 and 4, and I believe Johnny News won the All-Stars last year at New Smyrna, and he's up for it again. Gonna quickly look 16.3 to 16.5, so he's 2 to 3 tenths faster on fresher tires, and he only has 20 lap fresh tires. Is not a lot, but is enough that he is flying in that 34 machine. The same can be said for the 9 and the 47, but not quite as fast. That 34, they must have done some adjustments as well as fresh tires, and he is moving 25 laps to go at the line, this time by here in segment number 1, and what a segment it has been. What a all-stars as already. You still have 100 laps to go here in this one, and oh yeah, that 77 has to be off. The base might have been involved in the first caution of the night. He's about to lap him the second time here. 24 laps to go. Logan Williams in the middle of it, and John Andrews top 3.
Everybody now is kind of single file. Well, apart from this battle, there goes Jordan Edwards to the inside, rubbing up on the driver's door of Bradley Ream, the 9 car, very persistent, getting to the quarter panel, sending it all the way to the inside of Zachary Fitzwater. Good old Fisty, he almost gets up into the wall, Nathan. Gonna lose another spot. They're gonna try and navigate their way around Nicholas Samandio. The block put on his teammate John Andrews gets blocked, absolutely door shut in his face by the 38, and all this, and Andrew Miller got around Logan Williams while they were trying to negotiate their spot. John Andrews trying to get to the inside of his teammate, and we have a Ford 1-2-3 here, Nathan, and very unusual sight, but will we see some team orders, manufacturer orders? The better run of the inside is definitely for sure, Nathan.
Oh,
to
boy.
the inside goes the 38, trying to clear himself. 3 wide down the backstretch, Nathan. Can you believe it?
3 wide, and if you cannot tell if the 34 has a good car on fresh tires, I don't know what will, and I bet Ben Lawson might be a little bit happy and a little bit scared all at the same time. 1-2, tight quarters racing here. And I think those fresher tires are really showing up now. Andrews to the lead, and here comes the 9 of Jordan Edwards, who had a tough hit at Kansas Speedway last weekend, and he's inside the top 5 with fresh tires. But right now, the 10th spot is Vogel Dorn, and he would start first in segment number 2, and the 19 Mark Kennington is in 11th, so he wants to get that 10th spot away from the number 3. But all these fresh faces with the fresh tires are very intriguing, to say the least. That's the unique thing about New Smyrna. They don't need fuel, but they can pit for tires sometimes, and that's what we saw right there. But these two are still battling with each other at Bronson.
Yeah, these are just, this battle has been going on since lap number 1, Nathan. Just not giving up, have they, Nathan? And they might get separated here by Jordan Edwards. He has come up this field in a hurry, hasn't he, Nathan? All this side-by-side battle, that's just allowing John Andrews, the other front-row motorsport car, to just absolutely pull away. There's no one catching him. Looking like early race Andrew Miller over here. Here comes the 9 car to the inside of Andrew Miller. A once dominant car now shuffled back to P number 4, Nathan. Crazy stuff here at New Smyrna. Nick Lopez is going to try to get to the inside, try and see if he has an advantage on that 21, but I don't think many do at this point. The 9 all over the back bumper of Logan Williams, trying to get something done going into turn number 3, and he's going to take a peek to the inside, now to this quarter panel, down the backstretch. Nathan, he's going to back it off, try and get that corner run for turn number 1. All of this in the 34 sail, clear sailing, as you will, and we have just over 10 laps to go in segment number 1, Nathan.
What a segment this has been, and hopefully this is a copy and paste for segment number 2. because this has been fantastic, so much better than last season. All I have to do was do 104 instead of 105 on the strength. Jordan Edwards to the second place spot, and once again, here we go, Miller and Logan Williams battling for the third place spot. Here comes Stuart Grand. He's kind of fallen off a little bit. I just saw Travis Crampton on pit road in the 45 machine. He had I don't know what happened to him. The 48 had a tire go down of Juan Garcia. So he's now back a lap down and he's going to be out. And now the 45 is out. I don't know what happened to him. But both 2311 racing cars are done here in segment number 1.
Both open cars that got in from the open are now facing elimination here. As I'm not sure where Aaron Abel is. He's 16th as of right now. Very far in the pack. He's definitely not going to make the inverted field. But a struggle for the open cars, to say the least, Nathan. Nick Lopez side by side with the 47 there. Stuart Gratton, the rookie that we cannot get away from, cannot stop talking about him. Easily the flashiest driver apart from this driver right here, Andrew Miller. Still to the inside, here comes Juan Garcia, about to go another lap down if he's not one already. About to go one lap down now. He's 2 laps down, about to face his third. He's about to face his third lap down here. Lap 69 here at New Smyrna. About 6 laps to go. Oh, the 38 almost gets into the quarter panel of Andrew Miller. Close, tight quarter racing here, Nathan. We'd love to see it here in New Smyrna.
Absolutely, and it's a tough break for some of the drivers that are going to be out of this one. Unfortunate tough break for Jack Cost and the 23 and 45. I don't know what happened to the 45, because nothing is showing up in the chat as the 48 had a tire, but not the 45. So I don't really know. The 48 doesn't have a back bumper anymore, and I don't know if they fixed that under the caution or not. But it's looking pretty good for John Anderson to win segment number 1, but you don't want that with the top 10 input. Gonna quickly see, and the 2 is the last one, but we only have 4 laps to go, and I don't think there's gonna be enough time, so he should be fine. But what a segment this has been. It looks like it's gonna be 24 to 20 still, so we're still gonna have majority of the field still winning. And right now, 10th place belongs to Eli Bright and Ron Kennington and Bradley Green all battling for that 10th spot.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the battle that we might have to take a look at here, because if these two get side by side, which they will, here comes the 19 to the quarter panel of Eli Bright. Kennington side by side with Eli Bright going into turn number 2 now onto the backstretch. And if they get side by side battle for a quite considerable amount of time, then, well, we actually here, this is the last lap here, battle for the lead here. Who will get P number 10? This is the most important question, Nathan. It might be John Andrews, and it is going to be on turn number 4. It's going to be John Andrews who wins segment number 1. Who's going to get pole position here in segment number 2? It's going to be Eli Bright etching out Ronald Kennington Jr. in a fierce battle side by side pretty much the whole last 2 laps. What a great battle here, Nathan. Unbelievable stuff New Smyrna has.
This is why I added this track as the All-Star Race 2 years ago. Last year's wreckfest, but what a segment number 1 that was. John Andrews wins segment number 1. He will start 10th in segment number 2. And Eli Bright barely with the last lap pass. In a great battle there, he will start on pole. And Ron Kennington is going to start 11th. It's not too bad on the inside lane, but that was the difference right there. And we're going to have 20 drivers in the mix here in this one for the second half. And, oh man, what a segment number 1. John Anderson will start 10th. Jordan Edwards will start 9th. Stuart Graham will start in 8th. Wilkowski will start in 7th. Andy Miller in 6th. Volker DeWin in 5th. Zachary Fitzwater in 4th. Nick Lopez in 3rd. Logan Williams, he dropped that late, but he's going to start 2nd in segment number 2. And Eli Bright has been a struggling season for Lexington Motor Club, but it's mostly been bad luck. Well, finally got good luck on the side, as Eli Bright will start on pole for segment number 2. 11th will be Ron Kennington. 12th will be Bradley Green. 3rd will be Trey Barlow. 14th will be Matthew, but 15th, no, Clifton. 16th, Ann Abel. 17th will be Matthew Burnett, 18th will be Alexander Rowe, 19th will be Justin Lydell, and 20th will be Alexander Vitale. And unfortunately, the 4 drivers that will be out in between segment 1 and segment 2 will be Juan Garcia and Nico Sandio, both 3 laps down, they are out. And then, unfortunately, temporary for Jack Haas on 2311 Racing. Both Crampton and Jordan Stout retired with accidents. And what a crazy first segment. Eli Bright will lead us to the green for segment 2, but how do you think that's going to go after a crazy segment number 1?
What? See, you were talking about the struggles of Eli Bright, and I think we might definitely see that, and there's definitely a reason why Eli Bright finished 10th. So I feel like the drivers that are starting up front, because of this inverted field, they're definitely going to stack up this field, or I could be completely wrong. So I may be just talking out of my butt right now.
Oh, that was a lot of fun. The open was a lot of fun, segment 1 was fun, and now we get to do it 75 laps. For segment number 2, let's go ahead and get things underway with segment number 2 and crown ourselves a Season 6 All-Star Race winner. Welcome back to New Smyrna Speedway. After a crazy segment number 1, it is time for 75 more laps, and this time, whoever wins gets to keep it and will be crowned the Season 6 All-Star Race winner. Unfortunately, Juan Garcia, Nicholas Sandio, Travis Crampton, and Jordan Stout have been all eliminated after segment number 1 and having their problems, and after that terrible wet that Jordan Stout had. And then the top 10 did a full field invert, or the top 10 did a invert. So Eli Bright finished 10th in segment 1, he is now on the pole. And then Logan Williams is in 2nd, Nick Lopez is in 3rd, Zachary Fitzgerald is in 4th, Walker Dorn is in 5th, Andrew Miller is in 6th, Joe Wachowski in 7th, Stuart Crown in 8th, Jordan Edwards in 9th, and then the segment number 1 winner of John Anders will start in 1st. Will start in 10th. 75 laps again, and this is the final segment. So how do you think this one is going to go, Boston, knowing that this is it? 75 laps, and we are done for the night, and someone will win the All-Star Race.
Well, I definitely see right under the 42's pit sign, I see the sliver of the 21 there. I definitely think we'll be seeing an appearance from Andrew Miller here before long. But up front on outside pole, I think that we'll definitely see Logan Williams try and see what he can do with the time that he has before the 21 gets up front. I think we'll see the same people that ran up front in the last segment do what they did in last segment and just come up front and dominate pretty much.
We'll have to wait and see. We saw a lot of Nick Lopez, a lot of Logan Williams, Zachary Fitzgerald, and Miller, and we'll see what ends up happening. And we'll see if we get a caution, and if anyone does the pit stop strategy and the 4 tire strategy as well. Alright, Bronson, we tried making a pick earlier, a biased pick, and now let's see what we got. 75 more laps, and who do you think will win segment number 2 and become an all-star here tonight?
I'm going to go a bit more unbiased this time. I'm going to go Andrew Miller, purely off of speed and purely what I've seen tonight. A brilliant driver, a brilliant car, a brilliant car owner. Everything is going in that 21's favor. An unbelievable car. That thing is a literal rocket ship. And there is nothing telling me that that driver will win and become an all-star tonight. By the end of 75 laps here, Nathan, for the last time tonight, take it away.
Eli Bright, Logan Williams, we are green flag racing for segment number 2 in the Season 6 All-Star Race. Who will win in 75 laps time? Great stuff from Eli Bright. He finished 10th barely over Ron Cunnington, and that ended up being fairly important as he will lead lap number 1. Nick Lopez in the 2nd place spot. Logan Dorn in 3rd. Joe Wachowski in 4th, and we're going to see a lot of new faces here in play, I think, with this top 10 inversion. And Logan Dorn was the first one that went down to pit road for 4 fresh tires, and Logan Dorn won that All Club to get into this one as a rookie. And and he's trying to get the job done here in segment number 2.
There comes Joe Rakowski to the back bumper of Dorn, trying to push him up track. But up track is Logan Williams, 38, outside pole sitter, and ahead of them is Nick Lopez. Won 2 races to get into this race and is trying to make himself an all-star by the end of the night. Rakowski's still behind this number 3 in Rakowski's number 43. And behind this gaggle of cars is the number 21, Andrew Miller, and behind him is everyone's favorite, the Fister, Zachary Fitzwater. And then behind him, a bunch of gaggle of cars. I'm not even going to try and list off all these names. That's Matthew Burnett to the inside of Jordan Edwards, and then behind him is Noah Clifton. And a bunch of cars from there. The 21, Andrew Miller, trying to take a peek to the inside, gets the door shut, and side by side for the lead here, Nick Lopez to the inside of Eli Bright. The 42 slides up track and will give the position off to Nick Lopez.
Nick Lopez won 2 races last year, Darlington and Talladega. That's how he got in and also made the chase. This year has not been as good, but he did win the Clash in controversial fashion. But it's been anything but that. He's been very fast all night long, and this would be something if he can not only win the Clash, but also the All-Star race for Joe Gibbs Racing. Joe Gibbs Racing has been very consistent all year long, does not have a points penny win, but they might get a second non-points win. Eli Bright on the move, trying to take the race lead back, and well, it didn't take long to. Animal is all the way up to 3rd in the number 21 machine, and oh no, Trey Barlow gets sent around by Matthew Burnett. Gonna go back up the racetrack, no, let's go for Glenn. A multi-car incident, and unfortunately the 12 and the 2 are both involved.
I believe that is going to be a caution. If what wasn't a caution earlier wasn't a caution, and now it is a caution, Nathan. A huge crash going into turn number 3. 24 got off the ground for a little bit there.
Oh my goodness, a huge hit for Trey Barlow, and luckily we didn't see a multi-car crash in segment number 1, but unfortunately the 2, 24, the 11 and 19 made it pretty unscathed, and looks like the 9 might have a small hood buckle. Huge hit for Grant. He's going to be done, I believe, in that 47 machine, and he is not yet, so we'll see, but the 12 is definitely done, as we just barely saw him leave and go to the garage. Everyone else is still on the racetrack. No one went down onto pit road for fresh tires. But, oh man, what a crazy start to this one. Here we go, this will happen to bring out the second caution of the night, and the first one in segment number 2, and this is not the first time that Trey Barlow has gotten turned by a Joe Gibbs Racing car this season. Reminder of the clash by Nick Lopez, who won. And this time, I don't think it was intentional, but Barlow gets turned, slid up the racetrack, and unfortunately, nowhere to go for a lot of drivers of Stuart Grant. Jordan Edwards in the number 9 gets clipped, and then a huge hit for Alexander Vitale into the 24. Long Kennington with a little tap right there, and then Abel ends up stopping, and then right there, the number 2 of Seidel tried splitting the gap, but didn't quite get it, and he got damaged. So a tough way right there for Johnson Seidel, and a tough way for everyone for the first caution of segment number 2 in the All-Star race.
Going down the back stretch, and Burnett, I don't want to say purposely turned the 24, but you just know it's going to be big when the 24 comes way back up the racetrack. Huge air for Trey Barlow and collects a bunch of cars, a bunch of good cars. And that is how we are under caution here in New Smyrna in segment number 2. Man, what a crash. You just knew that was going to be huge when it came back up the racetrack.
Absolutely, that was not good at all, and a huge hit. Luckily, he didn't flip. Not been a good year on these non-points event short track races for Trey Barlow, but I bet he's happy to get back to Charlotte next week and see if he can win there. But Eli Bright will be the race leader still, and let's go ahead and get back to the restart in segment number 2. Welcome back to the Season 6 JBL Cup Series All-Star Race. After our second caution of the night and our first one in segment number 2. Unfortunately, Alexander Vitale and Stuart Grana both in the garage. Join Juan Garcia, Nichols, Sam Deal, Clampton, and Stout. So have 18 colors on the racetrack. And it will be Eli Bright out front still with Nick Lopez in second, Anna Miller in third, Logan Williams in fourth, Joe Rokowski in fifth, Burnett, Hubert, Dorn, Fitzy, and John Amos rounding out the top 10. Nobody went down pit road besides the cars that were involved in the wreck, so everyone is on the same Goodyear rubber, and we are back running on lap 15 of 75.
You have to get a good jump right there, knowing that the 21's there. And here comes Andrew Miller to the inside of Nick Lopez. That did not take long. There goes the 38 trying to split the middle. 3 wide, nothing there. And here comes Andrew Miller to the quarter panel of Eli Bright. These restarts are absolutely nuts here, Nathan. Unbelievable stuff. And he's going to get to the quarter panel. The 21 to the inside of Eli Bright, with the 38 following him. Logan Williams trying to take a peek to the inside briefly. Nothing there. And we have a new leader once again for the, seems like millionth time this evening. It is going to be the 21. But he's going to get passed by Logan Williams as he slips up off of the high side. And there he is on the outside. He's going to almost get up into the wall. 3 wide. Matthew Hubert to the inside. And then Eli Bright stuck in the middle. What are they going to do? They're going to fan it back down to a 2-wide situation. And here comes the 20 of Matthew Burnett. Still 3 wide behind them. The 21 almost into the wall, Nathan, and he is fading back fast. Still hooked onto his quarter panel, Nathan, goes Andrew Miller on to Eli Bright. Absolutely calamity here, Nathan. All of this, and the 20 out of nowhere took the lead. Here comes Matthew Hubert to the inside of Logan Williams. And Eli Bright's going to find himself back to the inside, right in front of his teammate, Joe Rokowski. And the 20 Toyota is going to find himself in the lead, side by side for P number 2. Eli Bright's going to try and join this fight once again, as well as Joe Rokowski. Andrew Miller's going to try and find his way back to the inside, trying to get to the inside right in front of Ronald Dorn. Nothing there, almost chops his nose off. Andrew Miller back to the outside once again. And here we go, Matthew Burnett setting his sights on the lead and side by side going into turn number 1.
What a restart, and basically everyone inside the top 10 and maybe even the top 13 all have a shot at this race win. Unfortunately, I think the 11 and the 19 might have gone just a little bit of damage and they've fallen off the pace. Same with Justin Lydell, Jordan Edwards, and Trey Barlow. But it's anyone's race here in this one within the top 13. Fantastic start. A fantastic restart. And how about this? It's the Matthew show. Matthew Hubert in front of Matthew Burnett. Burnett drives with Hubert in the National Series. And this would be something for Burnett. He's been on the upward in the point standings and could make the chase for the second year in a row. And he's trying to win the All-Star race tonight. And I mentioned Nick Lopez won the Clash at Langley, but you know who was up there in that race as well? And that was Burnett. So Burnett has been very good at short tracks this year, and to the lead he goes. Look, Williams is in the midst, and Miller is dropping back a little bit, but how about these Toyotas? They have popped up out of nowhere in segment number 2.
Yeah, not only Toyotas, but Legacy Motor Club side-by-side contact made. Rokowski almost up into the wall. The 21, he's coming back at him. He's just trying to find his footing, trying to find his pace. And here's Trey Bardo. They have caught up to him. And this is going to put him a lap down and most likely out of contention. Matthew and Matthew show side-by-side, almost contact made. And Burnett's going to get pinched up behind Trey Bardo there. And Logan Williams is going to take advantage of that, slide into P number 2. And Burnett's going to fall into P number 3 as Hubert goes to the point to P number 1. We have the 2 blowing up. That is Justin Zidell, who finds himself under the apron, blowing up. Something amiss, maybe damage from the last crash that they didn't see. And that's going to take him out of the race. Battle here for P number 2, sliding his way in goes Burnett to the inside of Logan Williams. And it's going to be the Matthew show here in a few laps' time. And man, with so many battles and all of that. And look who's behind Logan Williams, our old friend, Andrew Miller.
Battles galore, and this is so much better than last year. And this track is special, and this is why. Fantastic battles all night long. Burnett and Logan Williams, Miller and Logan Williams have been strong all night. But we got both of the Matthews in contention now. Maybe even Eli Bright and Nick Lopez still. At least lap cars are going to be a factor for the rest of this one, as we still have a long way to go. Tailplay for Justin Seidel, but like I said, I think he got a little bit of damage, and that might have just caused his engine to go kaboom. So, bad night for Team Penske. I bet you're looking forward to Charlotte and getting the heck out of here, as a owner's perspective, but as a commentator, this is going to be very, very fun. Burnett, Hooper, Logan Williams, and Andy Miller seems to be the 4 cars to beat, but if things get crazy, you cannot count Eli Bright, John Andrews, Nick Lopez, and Joe Witkowski as well.
Witkowski fell back 2 positions there, and now we have a battle for the lead here. Nathan Williams has caught Hubert side by side, 38 to the inside, sliding up the slide job, going into turn number 1, onto turn number 2, down the backstretch, and it's going to be Williams now sitting behind the 9 of Jordan Edwards, the 5's teammate. He's going to try and block him to the best of his ability, but the 38's going to jump to the inside, take that advantage, and that lap car is going to be no problem. Hubert getting pinched behind now his own teammate. And now Burnett's going to take to the point, and here comes Andrew Miller, still getting held up by his teammate Nathan. That's crazy. Out of a teammate here in the All-Star race, that's wild. Hubert now to the inside of his teammate, slower teammate, and Andrew Miller now up to P3 in a position where he can jump back to where he's very familiar with in P number 1, but he has to get by Burnett, and he has to get by his other fierce competitor, probably to the equal advantage all night, because I can't really pick who's been more up front. Has it been the 21 or the 38? Now it's the 20 who's dumping to the point with help from the 21 of Andrew Miller, and it's going to be Burnett clearing, going down the backstretch, and side by side between Williams and Miller once again. Nathan, we have seen this time and time again tonight. We're seeing it once again here on coming on lap number 20 or 39 rather.
I think this is going to be one of the battles that we see all summer and possibly the rest of the season. Andrew Miller and Logan Williams. And for Miller, he's trying to get his 4th win in the last 5 races. He's won 3 out of the last 4 points-paying races, all except Talladega. And if he wins tonight, that would be 4 out of the last 5. But it's going to be tough for him, because he has Logan Williams and both Matthews in the mix. And Matthew Burnett is starting to pull away with these guys battling so out of a second here in the later half of this one. 35 laps to go in the All-Star race, and I do believe we got several drivers out up front trying to get the second. Logan Williams, I believe, is a former All-Star race winner. Same with Andrew Miller. Miller and Logan Williams, and then last season's All-Star race winner, you had this very same racetrack of John Andrews as well. How about Noah Clifton inside the top 10? And how about Aaron Abel, the All-Star Open winner? He had damage in segment 1 from a non-caution crash, but he fixed his car. He stayed on the lead lap, and he is inside the top 10. What a race this has been, as it has close with John Andrews and Noah Clifton. What a night this has been, and all the way catching up to Trey Butler once again in the 24.
Once again, Nathan, 2 Hendrick cars, very competitive, and then we got 2 others that are very off the pace. And now they're going to try and split it 3 wide. There's Williams splitting the middle, taking advantage of that, and Miller's going to sit in his cockpit and be like, what just happened? How did he do that? And Miller's going to be like, well, I just got to get past him no matter what. That's going to put him in P number 4 there. Still, it's going to be Hubert with the point. Behind him is the other Matthew. It's Burnett. No, sorry, it's
he got flip-flopped.
It's Burnett that has the point, and behind him is the other Matthew, which is Hubert, trying to chase him down, but is Logan Williams going to be the one that chases down the 20? Time will tell. Lap 47 now. It's going to be the top 4 show, really. It's been a breakaway, really, Nathan, because behind Miller is Eli Bryant. Behind him is the other Toyota, it's Nick Lopez, and then the other Toyota, which is Joe Rakowski. Behind him is the lap car of Trey Barton. Behind the lap car is Noah Clifton. Then it's going to be John Andrews. And the 11 of Aaron Abel, the other Toyota. And then it's going to be Rogel Dorn, the Auto Club winner. Zachary Fitzwater, the Fister. And then one of my drivers, Bradley Ream. Then that's the 41 of Alexander Rowe, sitting about mid-pack. I'm not sure. That's Ronald Kennington Jr. there. And then the 9 car, the other Hendrick car, very slow, many laps down. That's John Andrews. And then that rounds out the field, I believe.
Yep. Got the 9.
I can't believe I nailed that.
Yeah, got the 9 1 lap down, the 24 2 laps down, and then of course the 2 blew an engine. The 47 and 12 were out from the lap 12, big one. But this has been fantastic. Matthew Burnett trying to win here in the All-Star race. And then Matthew Hubert, the Homestead winner. Logan Williams is not running at the season, but I think he's starting to get the ball rolling here. I think he's going to make a race contender for the rest of the season. And it really started with Talladega, back-to-back top 5s for this 38 team, and he's going to be a contender, I think, all year long, and really could be a good contender at Charlotte next week in the longest race of the season. And Andrew Miller has really pulled away, and it's really the top 4. It was the top 4, and now it really is the top 4, as I think Eli Bright has brought up his stuff trying to catch up with the top 4. Still a great night from Nick Lopez. You know, he won the Clash. It's been a rocky season for him, but this could be exactly what needs to build up momentum for the final 6 races of the regular season, maybe make it into the chase. Impressed by Ian Abel though, inside the top 10 after his long night. He's basically gonna do what, 225 laps total? Did the 75 laps in the opening and 2 75 lap segments here in segment 1 and segment 2. So a lot of laps at New Smyrna, but a very successful night of possibly in the top 10 one out of it. And getting up to the front is getting racy once again. Logan Williams caught past Matthew Hubert, and he's gonna chop off Miller Bailey into turn 3 and 4.
Man, Miller really got to the back bumper of Hubert there. Miller's gonna try and set himself up to try and get around that number 5. Logan Williams seems to be stacking this whole lineup. I don't know if he got a bad corner exit. Here comes Miller to the inside of Hubert. Hubert's gonna slide up all the way to the racetrack, and there's something off. Oh, and it's Bradley Raymond. There's all 4 of them. Watch out for the rest of the pack coming. They're slamming on the brakes, Nathan. Is that gonna be a caution?
Yes, it is.
What just happened?
You got to be kidding me. Watch out, everybody. Oh my goodness. Hubert's gonna have to pit.
Unbelievable. Hubert, huge damage. Unbelievable.
Did that just happen?
That's what I'm wondering at the same time, Nathan. Wow.
2 of the front runners are taken out, and now Burnett is leading, Miller in 2nd, Lopez in 3rd, and now John Andrews might be in a prime position to go back-to-back All-Star races at New Smyrna. Oh my goodness. It was another engine for the 22. Both the 2 and 22 blew up. I'm so sorry, Bronson.
Oh man, that's 2 failures tonight, Nathan. That's unreal.
And the 5 and 38 are done.
Wow. I cannot believe that.
Wow.
So unlucky.
Well, let's go ahead and see what happened. Let's bring out the 2nd caution in segment 2, and the 3rd one overall here in the season 6 All-Star race. Here we go, this weapon to bring out the 3rd caution of the night and 2nd one here in segment number 2. And our 3rd engine of the night. First it was Justin Seidel, then it was Joe Rakowski, and now Bradley Ream explodes the motor. He for some reason went up to the high side, and I think it's because Alexander and Ronald Kennington were on the inside and didn't want to cut them off, but because of that, he was not able to get down onto pit road right there. And unfortunately, because of that, he couldn't make it around the track a whole another lap. And he stopped on the racetrack, right off turn number 4, and right in front of the leaders. But that ended up being just fine. But unfortunately, Logan Williams chose the outside lane, and he chose the wrong one. Hubert had no say as he was side by side with Andrew Miller, and the 22 stopped right when the 38 and the 5 had nowhere to go but into the back end, and a huge log jam between those three drivers, and that just caused calamity down the front stretch. But this was mostly it. These guys all tried to avoid the number 5 and the 38 and the 22, and they do for the most part, but that could have been really avoided if Bradley didn't get stuck on the outside lane. But that's how it happens sometimes, and that's how John Andrews got up to third. He just gained a heck of positions, and he's going to be either third or fourth because of that. So, tough break for Liam, tough break for Team Penske, and a tough break for Logan Williams and Matt Hubert. Looked like they were going to contend for the lead, and now the nights are over in the All-Star race.
Looking here on Bradley Reed, everything's fine until it isn't. Blows up in turn number 3, can't get down because there's 2 cars, and then, yeah, I don't know, just sits right there. It's such unfortunate timing that the leaders come up behind him, bam! Williams gets rear-ended by Hubert, and then here comes the rest of the pack. Rakowski gets a piece of it. A small piece, I don't think anything big. Oh, maybe taps the back end of Logan Williams. Everybody trying to sort out in their own positions. That is how we are under caution here with maybe around 10 laps to go here, Nathan. Maybe 13. That's crazy.
Definitely a crazy moment right there, and crazy stuff happens in the All-Star race, and we saw one right there. Gonna be about a 10 to 15 lap restart to the end. Can Burnett get one of his biggest wins on the channel and become an All-Star race winner? Will Andrew Miller go 3 in a row here in the JBL Cup Series and get his 5th win on the season? Will Nick Lopez seal it, or will John Andrews go back to back here in Smyrna? Let's find out with a late race restart in the Season 6 All-Star race. Well, welcome back to New Smyrna Speedway, and you see it on the ticker. While we were under the break, Joe Rakowski blew a clutch, and that is a third engine in segment 3 alone. The 2, the 22, and now the 43. So the 43 is done, the 22 is done, the 38 and the 5 are done. 14 cars are left, and we are going to have 13 laps to go with Burnett, Miller, Lopez, Andrews, and Eli Bright the top 5. 13 to go. 13 drivers on the lead lap. Who will win the Season 6 JBL Cup Series All-Star race?
Good jump by Burnett there. He's going to try and run away from the fastest car tonight. Fastest car remaining in this field. And that's that man right there, Andrew Miller. A very tame restart compared to what we've had earlier this race. And here comes the 21 to the inside. He was just biding his time to the quarter panel, to the door, and he's there. Andrew Miller to the inside, going into turn number 1, onto the back stretch, and following him is Nick Lopez, and he's going to clear. And here comes Aaron Abel to the inside of the 42 of Eli Bright. And new leader, once again, it's going to be Andrew Miller. Nick Lopez to the inside of Matthew Burnett into turn number 1. A lot of battling behind this pack, but Andrew Miller cleared, gone away, and as long as these two stay side by side, Andrew Miller is going to say bye-bye as we have 10 laps to go, and that is all Andrew Miller wants to see. Unbelievable stuff, Nathan. Aaron Abel clears Eli Bright. He's going to set his sights on the 54 and the 20, and more contact. John Andrews roughing his way. Trying to get past Eli Bright. Here comes Zachary Fitzwater seeing all this action. He's like, what is going on? A big portion of this pack stacking up. They're going to have no say, probably no say in what happens. And here comes Burnett once more to Nick Lopez.
Look at JGR. They were very strong at the clash, and they are very, very strong here. Aaron Abel made it from the open, dominated it. He left in segment 1, stayed on the lead lap, and now he's inside the top 4, but it's looking more and more likely that Andrew Miller is just going to win every race for the rest of the season. Might get his 4th win in 5 fourth win in 5 races, then his 5th win overall this year. If he can make it. He's made mistakes all night long, and Burnett has been, I think, the 3rd best car, so this is not over. But if Burnett needs to win, he needs to do a perfect final 5 laps, and Miller needs to make more mistakes like that.
That is all Burnett wants to see. That is a big portion, if I can speak correctly, of the interval cut down from Miller, about 2/10 cut down. But as long as that 21 continues to stay on rails, it's going to be no problem. Andrew Miller, I believe, is already a Clash winner. And if we've already seen a repeat Clash winner, if we haven't, then history is going to be made tonight.
What is it?
Unless it's not. Sorry?
Burnett is closing in fast. And Andrew Miller has won the All-Star race before. Burnett has not. And he is closing in at a wicked pace. Miller keeps on running up wide here in 3 and 4. Burnett knows that he has a chance 2 laps to go. And able who won the Open might win, might get 3rd here. 2 laps to go. Miller is there if he makes a mistake. But we also have a lap car that may or may not become a factor. Final lap in the JBL All-Star race. Miller and Burnett. One of these two will win the 20 or the 21. Miller has done a fantastic job all night long and a fantastic final few corners. And off of turns 3 and 4, once again he's going to go wide, but it's not going to be enough. And Miller wins his 2nd JBL Cup Series All-Star race. And he wins yet again in the JBL Cup Series this year. Oh my goodness, I don't know if he can stop him. He just won at Kansas last week. Miller? And now he is a 2-time All-Star race winner.
What can Andrew Miller not do? He is now the JBL Cup Series Rocket Man. Unbelievable. History made tonight, Nathan. Wow.
The 2nd win in the All-Star race for Andrew Miller. It was close. He was making mistakes left and right. But once Burnett got about 3/10 of a second, he finally nailed down his car. He slowed down the pace enough to hit the corners, because I think he was getting tight. He made a few mistakes there, and it was close. Maybe a little bit too close for Andrew Miller, but that is yet another win on the season. His 5th win in 13 races. I'm so sorry to everyone, because that might not be it. We might be seeing a Kylson type season back in 2021, where Andrew Miller just wins 11 races. That could be a possibility, because we're not even halfway through the season. But nevertheless, though, that does not shy anything from this race, though. This is a fantastic All-Star race. Probably the best one we've had at New Smyrna in only the 2nd year, but this is so much better than last year. And it doesn't even come close. Fantastic battling all night long. Only 3 cautions compared to last year. I think almost double digits. It was nuts. What a race. And Andrew Miller cannot be stopped. We'll see if he can get another win next week at Charlotte. But overall, what a race here tonight. History was made barely. And what a all-star race here at New Smyrna Speedway.
Yeah, that was absolute cinema. I think that's all you can say about that. Andrew Miller, history maker, Rocket Man, the JBL Rocket Man. I think we need to start calling him that.
There was a point in time where I almost jokingly said that this was going to be called the WassUp Cup Series and might be called the Andrew Miller Cup Series this year. His 5th year in the Cups, 4th or 5th year in the Cup Series, and it's definitely the best one yet. 2-time also race winner, and that's his 5th win overall this year. Won at Phoenix, and then really ever since Rockingham, really stole that one late. He won at Rockingham, had a bad race at Talladega, and then won at Knoxville in dominating fashion, stole Kansas, and now he wins this one here tonight. So I don't know what these guys have to do to try and stop him, but they need to do something, because we're only maybe that's all that you have to do. We thought Joe Lukowski last year was dominant. well, Andy Miller's even more dominant. But I will say, Wilkowski might have won the regular season title, but he did not win the chase. He did not win the championship in the chase, so we'll see what ends up happening. And Andy Miller with the race win yet again. But what a race this was, one night. And thanks for Boston for joining me up here in the booth for this one. Fantastic All-Star race, and this is what it should have been last year. And I think we just gotta run it back, same strength and everything, because that was a bomb of a night. And next week, it is the Krispy Kreme National Series at Charlotte on a Thursday. Yes, you heard me, on a Thursday. And that would be a drivers-only broadcast. The announcement will be made in the Discord before the race earlier in the week. You have to wait and see who that ends up being Bronson. But a drivers-only broadcast, and then of course the Coca-Cola 600 next Saturday, the longest race of the season and one of my favorite races to do all year long. And we'll see if Andy Miller can win yet again. But congratulations to Andy Miller on yet another win and for his second All-Star race win. And for Bronson Minute, I'm Nathan Stapleton, and we will see you guys next week at Charlotte Motor Speedway for race 13 of the season.